welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily Dizzle for Wednesday, December 8th. Yeah, my time is still correct. December 8th it is. Today's a little bit of an abbreviated edition just because it seems to be that wonderful holiday season where days off quickly turn into overtime hours picked up. Pretty much, instead of doing anything new that I had planned, we're going to go over some of the stuff that we left for you yesterday that we teased. A lot of superhero news in regards to Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, even Wolverine popping up. A lot of Disney news seems to be coming out today for new movies, so without further ado, let's get to the quick Dizzle, if you will. Pirates of the Caribbean 4, we discussed that a little bit yesterday. Anybody who is anticipating that eagerly, the new trailer will debut for that one with Tron Legacy, which opens December 17th. Disney's hoping that the 3D on that one will lead to a little bit of an Avatar-like success. However, they will be putting the trailer online on December 13th, a little bit ahead of time, just to satisfy the demand of the people who have been waiting way too long for that one, because God knows it's been forever since the third one came out. But regardless, speaking of Tron, that is going to be coming out in the next few weeks. The soundtrack did come out yesterday, courtesy of Daft Punk, definitely one of the best music duos of our time. They actually did release a music video for one of the tracks, D-Res. I checked it out before. It's definitely worth viewing. It's almost interesting how the music video uses graphics that are almost better than the original Tron movie, which they seem to be sending up. So definitely do a search for Daft Punk D-Rezzed, D-E-R-E-Z-Z-E-D, if you haven't checked that out. Daft Punk is always good. They've released the classic Around the World. If you've never heard any of their other stuff, you've been guaranteed to hear that song. But yeah, if you like a little techno, a little electronica, definitely go check them out, download, or well, I shouldn't say that, go download on iTunes their album. It's definitely worth checking out for Daft Punk Tron Legacy. In the Superman news, Hans Zimmer, who has scored the Batman movies with Christopher Nolan also did some work on the story for the upcoming Superman movie in the next couple of years. Rumor had been saying that he was going to do the music for that as well. He's come out and said he would have no idea how to even give Superman a voice. Definitely, he's got a good style. He's got the dark, brooding style. Hans Zimmer, if you've seen, obviously, the Batman movies, Sherlock Holmes, Inception, that's all his music. He's definitely one of the best composers that does movies today. A little disappointed that that was only a rumor, though. There's plenty of time for him to get roped in if they do want him in to do the music for that. Speaking of Christopher Nolan and Batman-related news, Christian Bale has spoken, officially saying that this is going to be his last time being in a Batman movie with The Dark Knight Returns, the sequel to, or The Dark Knight Rises, the sequel to The Dark Knight. He's pretty much said that as long as it goes balls to the wall, in no uncertain words, that's what he wanted to do. He wants to see something on film that will never be seen and never be topped, and he wants to go out on the high note. And that was in the news yesterday, as yesterday was also the day that the script for the movie was expected to be turned into the studios. So you can be expecting to hear a little bit more story details, maybe rumors and spoilers coming in the next couple months now that the script is hopefully officially in. Another superhero movie in news, Iron Man 3. The director, Jon Favreau, who's one of my favorites of all time. If anyone's seen Swingers, you know exactly who he is. Couples Retreat, one of those guys that you might not know until he's pointed out. But not only a fantastic actor, but a fantastic director. He actually has said that Iron Man 2 to Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 is going to be a story that kind of takes place after the Avengers have all met up. Iron Man 2 had a lot of teasers for Thor, Captain America. Those are some of the other guys from the Avengers coalition. So not only do they have, it's kind of rumored as to what they may or may not do. Now you've got a director of a movie coming out in 2 or 3 years saying he doesn't even know what he's going to do because they have the story wrapped that tightly. So hopefully some good story details come out for the Avengers so we're not disappointed in where a third one might leave us Iron Man-wise. Spider-Man, in addition to the casting movie, the casting news in the past few days, they have actually started to film and they've started using the Red Epic 3D digital cameras. They've said rave reviews across the board. It's the same technology that they're going to be using on the Hobbit films as well. Probably in a lot more 3D movies coming out in the next couple of years once they get the use going. And Spider-Man, which should be another guaranteed blockbuster, definitely doesn't seem like a bad movie to start with. Have your name attached to the software of a guaranteed blockbuster means you'll get a few people to use your software besides that. So hopefully that one turns out good. There's a lot of news for the Hobbit coming out. I don't really care for Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings, all of that. Really, the biggest news out of it, though, we've got Cate Blanchett is definitely cast. A lot of people know her, obviously. You can name any number of movies where you've seen her and wouldn't even know who she is. She is an Oscar winner, though, so a lot of people do know. I think my favorite role with her personally is Pushing Tin, just because it took me God knows how many years to even realize that she could do an everyday role instead of something a little bit more glamorous. Now, while I may not care necessarily for the fantasy of Lord of the Rings and all that, the Clash of the Titans was one that I wanted to get around to checking out. Still haven't. I've heard, alright things, but Liam Neeson in an action movie is guaranteed to be something good, and he's actually been talking about the script for the sequel that's going to be coming out, Wrath of the Titans. He's only read half the script, and he says there's work that needs to be done, which if you're halfway through a script and there needs to be work, maybe you should consider working on that part before trying to finish it off. But still, he says there's going to be a lot more of a human story to it. God knows that story about the Greek gods needs a human aspect, but regardless, if you like the first one, it should definitely be along the same lines, and made enough money that at least they know with the complaints about 3D from the last one, they converted it after they'd shot it instead of shooting it naturally. This time they're just going to shoot it naturally in 3D so they don't have to piss people off to get their money. From there, other movie news that's going to be coming out, Michael Mann, he's got another Mafia biopic coming. Of course, he's done a lot of good movies like Collateral, most recently Public Enemies, so obviously knows what he's doing when it comes to Mafia stories of any kind. So hopefully we'll be in store for another good one in the next couple summers from him. Adam Sandler, you can't go wrong with him despite his movies seeming to be a little bit more cookie cutter now. And he will be rejoining Kevin James for a movie about them being valet parkers. Apparently they both hate each other. They work at rival parking lots. They witness a murder and must go on the run together. Seems like a redux of I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, which could have definitely been a lot funnier, given how funny they are individually. So, see how that works. So in addition to directing Iron Man 3, Jon Favreau is also going to be directing the Magic Kingdom movie. Yes, Disney's theme park, as if Pirates of the Caribbean, the ride, getting its own movie wasn't enough. Now they're going to make the whole theme park into a movie. Favreau, though, what he said, he started to go through all the old Disney movies along the lines, starting from Dumbo, Steamboat Willie, and working his way up to try and get some of the old touches. So it might not be, just the Mickey Mouse cash grab that everyone seems to expect it to be. And Jon Favreau's a very funny guy, obviously behind Swingers and Made. He almost made Vince Vaughn on his way to making his own career. He says he likes going on vacation to Magic Kingdom a couple times a year, so at the very least maybe there'll be some of those fun National Lampoon's Vacation-esque moments to what will ultimately be a feel-good movie from the Mouse House. But that's one still a ways off. That might even not see the light of day till after Iron Man 3, so you still got a couple years to prepare for that. And now with all the Iron Man Dark Knight talk that's going on, seems to be lots and lots of superhero news. Latest seems to be a little bit of information regarding the shoot for the Wolverine sequel, which is simply going to be called The Wolverine. Hugh Jackman says he's going on a 6-month, 6,000 calorie a day training regimen, and he's going to be adding 25 pounds of muscle. This is more weight than he's ever done before, and I guess he's been talking to The Rock to get the exact details on the best way to do it. If you're taking workout details from The Rock, that's already a step in the right direction for how Wolverine's going to look. Tron Legacy's barely on the shelves yet, and we're touching on that again. Apparently, there's already ideas in place for a sequel. If there is a sequel to it, if it does well enough. Irish actor Cillian Murphy, who most will know from the movies Red Eye and from Batman Begins. It was the bad guys in both of those. They have an idea for him to be a villain. What else is there to top this off? Johnny Depp is once again talking about how he'd be interested in making a cameo of 21 Jump Street. 21 Jump Street, of course, is the show that made him famous after Nightmare on Elm Street and all that. It's kind of what threw him into the spotlight. He said for years if they were going to make a movie, he would definitely want to make an appearance. He's telling Jonah Hill to get a hold of him. Jonah Hill, I've seen it mentioned in many interviews with him that Johnny Depp wanted to do it, and he keeps saying, someone get a hold of him, someone get a hold of him. They better get a hold of him soon before that movie goes into production. Also, there seems to be there were a lot of new movie posters released this week, including two big ones for Cowboys and Aliens, another Jon Favreau directed movie that'll be coming out in the next couple of years, mixing the Old West with sci-fi alien stuff. And even though Transformers 2 might not have done as well as everyone thought it should be, they've released a poster for the third one. Doesn't look any different from any of the other ones that they've released for the other films. If anything, it almost looks exactly the same as one of the posters from the second. So that seems to be it, and I think that's reached the end of our news updates for the day. Hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit longer of an update tomorrow, a little bit more coherent. But as is, I've got to go jump in the shower, get to work. Leave your feedback, leave any comments that you might have. Tomorrow we'll make sure to make this a full edition with intro and credits and everything. For now, you have been enjoying the Quickie Daily Dizzle for Wednesday, December 8th. This is Tommy Dizzlemits. Peace out. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.